Ah, the sweet sounds of slumber.
Well, at the risk of sounding like the old guy yelling at kids to get off his lawn, what the hell is this?
Not bad.
Wait, that sounds like Sub Rosa to me.
Yeah. I don't know if I've actually ever heard them live, just studio stuff.
Yeah, the studio stuff is good. The live stuff, and see, and this, here's my problem. We're going to talk about this on the new releases this week, but their live at Roadburn came out today, and we're going to talk about that with the new releases. But the problem is that this is more of like a fan video. They put nothing on YouTube.
Yeah,
which I get it. As long as it comes up at some point. I don't want you to Gene Simmons me.
I'm sure it'll be out there eventually to sample somewhere, Spotify, Pandora, or the like.
Potentially. But it is the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast. Thanks for joining us here on our Friday evening, or whenever it is the hell you're listening to this.
Number 53.
Yeah, we had our celebratory, or some of you would say the masturbatory episode last week. But no, we are in now to a new year, a new realm, as it were.
That's right. And normally you ask me a question at the start of the podcast, but I think I'm going to start this one myself. How was your week?
How about is fucked? Is that okay?
I believe that's a proper descriptive term. Yeah,
actually, and it's fine because once a year I do this stupid thing where I end up going for hours and hours and hours. 27 ballpark, 27 and change of a live broadcast during my day job to help out like the food bank here in eastern New Mexico. And I did it last year, and I thought, well, I'm not dumb enough to do this 2 years in a row. And so here we are, year 2. So when I got done today, knowing that there's a third year coming next year, but it's fine. I don't mind a little bit of self-sacrifice because I can assume I'm a guy that believes in karma quite a bit. So if I do this good deed, it might atone for all the other nonsense I do throughout the year.
That's like a very kid's perspective of Santa Claus type of stuff.
That's kind of my intellectual level. Yeah. That's.
If I do 2 good things for the one bad thing I did, I think I'm going to be just balanced.
Yeah, no, I'm all right with that.
And that's all we want is balance,
So yeah, I'm done with that. So after and actually from alarm clock to a nap, it was 29 hours. So, 5 hours beyond a day. It was a long day. It was a long day.
5 hours beyond a day. That sounds like a prog rock band. Like an album title.
Don't give them any fucking ideas.
That's ours.
But it's all right. At the end of the day, and truly, and I mean that in the most literal sense of the term, at the end of the day, we were able to make a lot of money and get a lot of canned goods for people who need it. So how was your week?
Nothing, man. I've been off.
I want to hear tales. I want to hear tales of the indigent and the misled and the drug-addled.
I'm sure they're doing well. I have not been to that. I haven't been to that particular part of the neighborhood since a week as of right now. I head back on Sunday, so if you're looking for tales of that, it'll come back next week, episode 54. I'm sure I'll have something.
I'm certain it'll be there. All right, so we're excited about one thing as we move into our Mead portion of the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast. And I'm going to let you set it up.
Well, as we talked about last week, it's been, and I actually posted this on the Facebook page earlier today, it has been 364 days to the day that we wrapped production on Holly King.
Yes.
And we said after the holidays were done, we're going to wrap this bad boy up, put Don't Open Till Xmas on it. It sounded really nice, by the way.
Oh, good.
And see how it does a year later in the 2017 holiday season. And we've arrived at that day.
It's the big reveal where we find out, so should we have sold all this shit last year, or actually is sitting around for 1 year actually a good thing?
Yeah, which is that is the true question. I'm really curious. Just on whiff alone, it smells like it's improved. It looks like it's improved.
Yeah, we have our roadie Silka with us, and all 3 of us are going to be giving this thing a try. As just now, kind of gave it a little pour. Now it's got the. Any mead that we have done, it always has the telltale. I don't know exactly how to explain it. It smells like mead.
It
has,
smells like mead without the honey added after the process is done.
Yeah. No, it's a very straight mead from the smell of it. It has that weird, almost like very organic scent to it.
Yeah.
You know, this is just the work of the gods right here.
Peppermint is really coming out nicely as well.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take us a little sippy poo.
Couple drinks, Randy.
Quote Trailer Park Boys. We'll see what we think. The Holly King 2016, and see if we've all of our efforts have been for naught.
Cheers, boys. Wow.
That's
it tastes nothing like it did a year ago.
Well, that's because the honey has taken over. Last year, the peppermint was a bit overwhelming. Remember, and we'd said what's going to happen through the course of this as it ages is the honey is going to start to gradually take over. The juniper berries actually have always been background, and you can it's hard to tell that they're there now because the honey has decided that it's taken over this operation.
This is really good.
It's very good.
Holy shit.
What do you think?
I love it. It's really good.
Liar.
See, and by the way, you might be saying, how dare you call her a roadie? Actually, she said she always wanted to be a roadie. So there we go. We have our official roadie of the Mead, Medal, and MMA podcast.
Got that before we got a drummer or a bass player. We have priorities.
Well, at least we have our shit in line here.
That's right. That's right.
Holly King. You know what? And actually, this is straight out of the bottle right after opening. So we're let's give it another little test here at the end.
Yeah. And another thing I'll note, the liquor burn is a little more noticeable.
Yeah, because we
it's
kind
very
of
warm.
It seemed like it was a little absent last year, right?
Yeah, very warm.
So which always makes us question: is it actually standing up to our standards?
Yeah.
Because we kind of want everything to kind of let you know it's there.
This is pretty goddamn awesome, if I do say so myself.
Well, the good news is for our donators out there, we talked about some extravagant shit charging $40 or $50 a bottle. I think a standard $30. I think is because I don't want this shit hanging around in 2018. It's good, but you know,
I think it's right in its prime, though.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Wow,
that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a holiday beverage right there.
I now need it to snow because that warmth is now letting me know that that's what we have to have happen.
Man, good luck, man.
All right, so the rest of the mead news, we do have the French oak into the long ships that long awaited. We're going to have to clarify. There's something that went awkward with that.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the ever fluctuating temperatures we've been having lately.
Only because it's been 80 one day and 50 the next, back and forth, and that it's not stability. Anything if you're trying to make alcohol, whatever simplistic form that you have, whether you're talking about utilizing grape juice to try to make wine, or whether you're trying to make beer out of barley after leavings, or if you're trying to make mead, it has to have a stable atmosphere. And the problem is we live in New Mexico, and there is nothing stable about our atmosphere.
No, there's nothing stable about anything that goes on
so
here.
it came off being a little gluey looking, which is okay.
Yeah, bit cloudy.
It's that's something that can be dealt with. And what we will do is we'll clarify it. Probably get some hooves in there here in about a week.
The old hoof.
And after that, probably a little bit of isinglass at that point, because I think that actually that's a batch that'll benefit from that.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go ahead and do both and get that thing clarified and get a bottle. Here's the problem: we were hoping to be ready by the time that we do our annual wine and cheese social coming up about mid-December. We're going to be looking at best a New Year's batch.
Yeah,
I think. But that's a good thing because much as they used to make a big deal on the Paul Masson commercials back in the 1980s, we'll make no wine before it's time,
Right.
This is kind of where we're at with this whole thing right now. Is the long ships batch? It's going to be stellar. I think I up the special attitude stuff that we throw in there beyond the French oak. Yeah, by a number of corns. Yeah, and the other varieties of things that we do for additive, but that's purely flavor additive. And I think that really it'll benefit. We're going to pull that French oak. I don't want to go beyond about 10, 11 days. It started to degrade on us the last batch, which makes for a really cloudy batch, and you can't clarify that.
Yeah, that's going to stick around. And we'll probably, when we clarify long ships, that'll probably be about time to move Troublemaker.
Troublemaker is ready for a move. It's we're right there. Yeah, that one's one of our. That one's a batch. Both these batches are near and dear to our hearts, but
Indeed.
Obviously, Troublemaker is the one that.
Well, it's our 2 favorite batches.
Yeah, it really is. Both of them are. And by the way, and then our 3rd favorite batch is probably generally Green Man. We do have a little under a case of that remaining. So if there's some our donors out there want to get with us on that, then yeah, we'd be happy to help you out. Yeah, it's a really good mead. It really is.
It's a good time to be in the mead business.
Mm-hmm. Metal. That's the second portion.
Bring that heat. Bring that thunder.
My problem is we got really, really spoiled for a very long time on some very good releases.
Yeah, we're getting hosed now.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but when a live album is the best offering that we can throw up for the week, then that, I think, says a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it is what it is. Every weekend can't be a winner, which is sad. I'm sure if we dug a little deeper, might be able to find something. But
well, they're okay.
We already dig pretty deep, I feel.
Jen and the Ancient Ones is out today. Now, here's the one thing I will say with this. It's a Finnish rock band. This podcast, we've made it known pretty much across the board that Finnish metal bands are the shit. That's what we prefer. There's something that they do within Moon Sorrow, within Nightwing, within some of these other acts, and Sephirum, I guess, if you're all right with kind of giddy up music. But
Ensign Fear would be a band that would be one I would introduce someone to get them into the genre.
And you know what? And that's actually Ensign Fear might be a good gateway.
Yeah, it's a great gateway drug to get into Finnish metal.
I hadn't thought about that before, but it is, because when people say, "Yeah, it's okay," does it always have the same rhythm on all of it? And then that's when you say, "No, my friend. Let me introduce you to Moon Sorrow."
There's 3 more paths you can take.
I mean, even Winter Sun, who frankly, the arrogance of them pisses me off. But I'm not. Yeah. But I will admit that their first and second record are very good.
They deserve recognition. They just don't deserve.
They deserve recognition a different way for the 3rd record. But
yeah, they need to be shunned and tarred and feathered for it.
Yeah. Pee on their new sauna.
And even like if someone's like freaked out that everything's in Finnish, show them Ifing.
Yeah, because you can't make the argument that you can make the argument that Ifing wouldn't be around if it wasn't for bands like Moon Sorrow.
Oh no, sure. They're basically fully influenced by that entire scene. But for a band from Michigan to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, and those guys are like still on Bandcamp. I mean, I don't even think that it's ever gone to iTunes.
And they've been like, I don't know if they're even active right now.
I don't know, but check it out. Bandcamp, IFING. Came out probably like 3 years ago, I want to say.
It's been out for a while.
2.5, 3 years ago.
3 jams.
Yeah, three tracks.
Getting about 40 minutes for your buck.
I was going to say it's like 38, 39. Yeah. But yeah, no, if you want to check out Jen and the Ancient Ones, or Jess and the Ancient Ones, I'm sorry, Jen, a little sleep deprivation here. Jess and the Ancient Ones, it's funky and weird. Well, I mean, if you live in Santa Fe or Taos or Austin, it might be your bag. I don't know.
Might be right down the old alley there.
Yeah, in the little artsier towns among society here, but. It's something I could listen to if I'm doing stuff around the house. We didn't want to lead in with it because we didn't want to establish that vibe on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, like I said, it's not bad, but it's just the Finns' version of what they think is popular rock.
It's funky.
It's really weird, but it's weird in a pretty good way. The singer has got some pipes. She sounds great.
She is. Yeah.
I like their use of organ.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
But
it's everything else that kind of makes it a little weird.
Yeah, it's one it wouldn't surprise me if I were to encounter them in like a weird Malibu kind of a thing if I were out there at a convention or some shit.
Yeah.
To where they really only allow in kind of the artsier society, you know.
The blue bloods.
The highbrow, yeah. So so there's that. Yeah, Sub Rosa is actually what we led you in with on the podcast here. We've talked about Sub Rosa before. Whippoorwill's like one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Yeah, but so they released a live album today, and it is live at Roadburn is the I think the festival, and there's a lot of other acts that play at that, but the sound quality is going to be a lot better on their release on that live record. But again, how much of a scant week do we have when really a live record is kind of the thing that kind of takes it for us this week?
Yeah, it's. I'm normally not a big fan of live albums, you know.
Well, because
I don't look forward to them as much as I do a studio release.
It seems like it is a stepchild to a studio album.
Yeah, it's like, here's this, tide you over while we figure out what we're going to do next.
But case in point, you look back like Jane's Addiction, they would have shit on their live records. There is no studio version.
Yeah, they made it valuable.
Yeah, and if a band does that, and if they copy that model, I'm cool with that.
Right.
You know, I really I can certainly appreciate that. Make me appreciate a live record. Don't just go out and play the same shit you had on a studio record, and I can add crowd effects if I want to. You know,
right.
We live in a society now where if that's a thing,
it's possible.
You know, so
well, that's why I bought S&M, Metallica's symphony release, primarily because one, it was Metallica doing their songs with the San Francisco Symphony, and the second was because there was 2 songs on there that they've never recorded live or in a studio.
Sure.
Only played them there. One was No Leaf Clover, became huge. I hear it on the radio probably once a week. The other one was Minus Human. Didn't become as huge, but was still a pretty good jam.
Well, you know, and actually we were talking about Moonstar a while ago. You want to start talking about the Tulamursky album that they'd put out, God, a while back. Back to North is on there, and not Battery, but which...
For Whom the Bell Tolls?
Yeah. Those are on there. Those are the only tracks you're ever going to hear Moonsorrow do in English, by the way. Those
Unless you got their
out,
punk albums.
I mean, so it's a studio album, but those 2 tracks are live.
Yeah.
I kind of dig that concept, too. So you get kind of the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
What else do we have? Oh, and by the way, and we're working on a cover. Can't jam tonight because some moron trimmed his nails a little bit too short, and now they fucking are killing me. But we're working on a cover that's going to be. We like to do covers that are really obscure, right?
Yeah,
or at least that seems to be like
cover
a component.
Cortez.
That seems to be a component we aim for, but this one is well known. So.
Yes.
So that means there's going to be more scrutiny on how well we do it. We're going to be working on that and hopefully getting it out before the end of the year. And I know some of you say, hey, I can go back to podcasts where you guys said, hey, this is going to be done by the end of, last year. And we didn't do it. I know, but you can really go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
because
rest
here's
sure.
what we're trying to do is we actually, this is now a challenge that both of us have accepted of getting a track out before we hit 2018.
Oh, man. Now I really got to go to work.
On an unrelated note, I would like to say that Tool is now one of my more favorite bands.
Yeah, those two statements have nothing to do with each other.
But stand by, because more on that next week, I'm sure, as we're going to get. And this one's actually one that I think we're hopeful that we can blast through this thing in a space of a couple of days of work, without getting it too overly refined, because it requires us to be a little bit raw. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. I think it has a bright future for being so goddamn dark.
All right, MMA portion of the podcast.
Oh, hold on. I got a couple things here.
I didn't mean to step on your toes.
Slow down there, Poncho. Macedon Brent Hines has a countryside project.
Oh, great.
Called West End Motel. I listened to it today. They have a song put out called Sorry I'm Late. It's like 80s country sounding.
Okay. I figure go ahead. Steven Tyler's put out a country record. Darius Rucker, who's like Hootie, he put out a country record.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of them now.
Hootie's done well. But this isn't like him really. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like he's really trying to do it. It sounds like he's having a lot of fun with it.
Well, if you're having fun with something, you might as well.
It almost sounds like he has a British accent while he's singing these songs.
Okay.
Which kind of makes it even weirder.
Yeah.
But Brent Hines is a weird cat.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
you don't get a tattoo on your face and have
that's
a problem
exactly
or
where I was
two.
going to go with it. Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. It might be worth a listen if weird tunes are your bag.
Right.
Grammy came out today and said, "Hey, here's my love for metal this year." Mastodon got a nod for
Get the
best metal
hell out.
performance.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought it would be like Metallica across the board because Hardwired was like within the window, right?
Yeah. Well, this is apparently just for performance of a song, not really the song itself or the album it came off of.
Okay.
Best rock performance, Chris Cornell's on there.
Well, you
So
kind of
he's
expect
probably
that,
going
right?
to win it.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters is on there as well. I didn't really like their new
I
album.
wouldn't want to go up against Chris Cornell or Chester Bennington this year.
Yeah, right. Best rock song, Metallica, Atlas Rise.
Okay.
Up there with Foo Fighters and Avenged Sevenfold. So, I mean, people that have won, they've all won plenty of Grammys.
Well, but Metallica, the thing is, and I thought, well, you don't want to go up against Dave Grohl, right?
You don't. No,
But-
you don't.
But if you're Metallica and you only put out a record, two records in a generation, so
Right.
Which
Best rock album, Mastodon, Emperor Sand, Metallica, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, New Queens of the Stone Age album, and two other ones.
God, I hope it's not Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
That last record that came out here about
Villains.
5 months ago was not their best work.
No, it just made me want to listen to the first release.
Yeah, they're a band that's a victim of their own success.
Yeah. And lastly, apparently Dave Mustaine and Lars Ulrich are having a little bit of a tiff.
Okay.
There's a story going around that they wanted to re-release their first demo, No Life Till Leather.
Okay.
And everyone was on board up to when apparently Lars wanted writing credit for 2 songs on that demo that Dave claims he wrote every note of.
Well, here's. it's maybe 2 of the biggest assholes in metal.
I know. It's a battle I could watch for days. I could watch the 2 of them fight for days.
I was trying to think, is this a good thing? If you're wanting the music, no. But if you're just a fan of the spectacle, this is great.
Oh, yeah. This is your Mayweather McGregor right here. And really the only birthday we had today was Rick Savage, bass player of Def Leppard, born in 1960.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any big ones for this week.
Nelly Furtado.
No.
Britney Spears, born 81.
No.
I don't know, man. She changed my life.
Britney Spears?
Yeah, walking by Walmart and seeing that album over there, just like, my God.
What's happening in my pants?
Is this what love is like?
Or 91, yeah. Whatever. It is what it is. I guess we got MMA because I know there's a lot of shit we got to cover this week. Because there's a pay-per-view tomorrow. I don't want to short sheet the our analysis of what's coming up tomorrow, and what's actually a pretty good fight card. Before we get to that, though, do we want to talk about the goddamn circus that is called Conor McGregor?
Ooh, of course. Might as well enjoy it while we can. Before the Irish mob rubs them out.
I don't want to necessarily break my arm and pat myself on the back, but I thought he would fight Floyd Mayweather, get $100 million, and we would never see him again in the octagon. Now, having said that, I think the promotion, they decided to punish him and make him sit out UFC 219 coming up on December 30th.
Yeah, for
They
his
said.
Bellator exploits.
But now, dude is aggravating judges over in Ireland because he had a speeding ticket that he's blown off 3 times. In this country, that gets you sent to jail for a while.
Yeah.
Over there, he finally showed up. His lawyer begged him to show up to court, and he finally did. After he'd been Instagramming all day when he was supposed to be in court because, Conor McGregor.
And all this happening after he allegedly punched the shit out of a connected man.
I guess. But I don't know how one gets a bigger estimation of themselves than what you have in one Mr. Conor McGregor.
Well, if he can stay this entertaining without fighting in the octagon, I guess I'm all right with it.
I'm not, because he's doing it all and not getting in the octagon. I will maintain he has not done one goddamn thing. He's won a title at featherweight, won a title at lightweight. That's it. went and decided to become a boxer. You know, everybody that he has beaten that he took a championship away from had a title defense. He has yet to have that.
Yeah.
And I will always judge him on the fact that you win a title, it's not really yours until you have a defense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's...
And Dana White even conceded that, you know what, the guy made a lot of money fighting Mayweather. He may never step in the octagon again, which would be bad for the company. I actually think it'd be great for the company.
I don't know. I think even with Conor's shadow hanging over him right now, things are looking really dark over there.
With UFC?
Yeah.
It's because they had an ownership group come in that wanted to make a pile of money. So they're actually doing the things that they believe are going to sell. They're going to put asses in seats, sell pay-per-views.
Which apparently means put 3 title fights on a card. And
all
fuck
that
away everything from future cards.
And it does. It utterly drains everything that might exist that might get you excited about another card somewhere else down the road. You throw 3 title fights on. You know what you could do in the space of a month? You could have 3 title fights.
Yeah.
But they say, no, yeah, but there's a lot of lackluster stuff under that. I don't see it that way. Your real hardcore fans are still going to buy the fights. They're still going to be interested in what's going on if you have the right matchup. That means you have to have like a Joe Silva type. I don't remember the guy's name is putting the fights together now.
Sean Shelby.
Hey, he's doing great when it comes to a pay-per-view, but the problem is they're robbing Peter to pay Paul to put all these on.
Yeah, all the undercard and top 10 fights, top 10 ranked fights that aren't a title fight are all usually pretty good, pretty well matched. Very rarely do we see someone just get blown out of the water these days.
I don't know what the right answer is. But maybe that answer is to actually go back to their roots. Start putting on fights on Tuesday or Wednesday nights during the week, the ones that don't really mean a damn thing, you know, and let these people build up and sell the pay-per-views.
Because, let's see, we have, 10, 11 titles right now? Not including the bullshit interim fights.
You're talking to a guy that's been up for way too long to count them out, but there's a lot
I'm
of
way
titles.
too tired to know math.
There are a lot of titles out there, interim and otherwise.
Yeah, so I mean, you could have 10 pay-per-views in a year. Majority of them have a title fight be your main event,
right?
And the ones you really want to stack, put 2 on there.
Yeah,
you would have enough to do it.
Going 3, I mean, that was the whole thing with UFC 200. They were going to make such a big deal out of that. Hey, there's 3 title fights here or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact details, but basically everybody that had anything to do with the last 100, UFC events was on that main card.
Sure.
Well, but the problem became then they decided, hey, that's the new norm. Let's start doing that. Let's start having 3 title fights on and all these huge names and everything else. But the problem is what you do is you drain yourself of being able to put up what might be a watchable event over the course of 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, and then say maybe some of those title fights fall through. A la
Right.
UFC 213.
Which they do a lot.
Vegas, International Fight Week, biggest card of the summer, and you lose both your title fights.
Maybe the UFC will start offering like an interim title belt A, interim title belt B, interim title belt C.
It's going to be just like pro wrestling, man. We're going to have like 20 belts that don't mean fuck all.
Less is more.
Yeah.
But the problem is the organization seems to think, the new ownership seems to think,
you got 500 fighters, man. There shouldn't be a problem to fill a card if you got people that know what they're doing.
Let's start talking about UFC 218 coming up tomorrow.
Indeed. I really got to change that text message sound on my fucking phone. It wakes me up at night, and it scares the shit out of me.
What is it, like a weird bullwhip thing?
I don't know. It's like I have like a predator sound.
Yeah.
Like from his weapon, I think. That little photon torpedo shooter thing he had.
Yeah.
So yeah, tomorrow. As far as undercard goes, preliminary card main event, it's going to be Charles Oliveira fighting Paul Felder. Should be a good fight.
Oh, Charles Oliveira. He needs to win in a big way. He lost really bad last time out. Paul Felder's a tough guy to get around, though.
Yeah, and after seeing him on TV, he's getting a little commentating under his belt. I like Paul Felder.
Yeah, he is kind of an asshole, but he's Paul Felder. He's our asshole. Man, Oliveira needs a win though, really bad.
Yeah. the fight was originally supposed to be Ally Aquina fighting Paul Felder.
You know what's up with that guy, and I'm not even going to ask. What's the
Alex
next
Oliveira
one?
is also fighting on his card against Yancy Medeiros.
The other Oliveira?
Yeah, basically the other Oliveira, the one at welterweight, the bigger one.
Yeah, okay. The Cowboy Oliveira, yeah. The one that lost to Cowboy Cerrone. Who's he fighting?
Yancy Medeiros.
Man, Yancey's kind of been on a little bit of a tear.
Yeah, it should be preliminary card.
And on top of that, I can never, ever go for that Oliveira again because of his nonsense of missing weight by, goddamn, 7 pounds or some nonsense back. You remember that? About like 7 or 8 months ago, 9 months ago? Missed weight, not even just a little bit. He basically said, fuck this, I want a bucket of chicken.
Right.
And then went to the weigh-ins and missed weight and then talked so much shit when he got a win. I don't think you should honestly, the promotion shouldn't be interviewing anybody that misses weight that egregiously. And the fight comes around, I don't think you bring in your guy. I don't think you bring in your Rogan or your Anik or whoever you've got. I think you leave them sitting outside just looking at them saying, sorry, you should have done your job. You should have made weight.
Yeah, the only reason he got there to talk to him is because he finished the fight.
Yeah, I know, but
still shouldn't reward it.
You know what I would do if I were
if you were a rich man?
If I were a rich man, if I were an MMA fighter fighting at, if I were Mark Hunt, I'd go ahead and I'd take a welterweight fight. Go, sorry boys, missed the weight. Let me go ahead and talk shit about how great I am.
You can have 30% of my purse.
That's what Oliveira did.
Yeah,
that's essentially what he did, and I will never be a fan of that guy.
Didn't win him any fans.
No,
lost him more than won him for sure.
Yeah. Well, and he builds onto the reputation of why people internationally don't like Brazilian fighters.
Yeah. And apparently they're all cheaters. I mean, telltales out of school.
Oh, my God. You'd think I would have said that, but no.
Hey, calls them like a season, man. Things have not been the same since USADA came in and cleaned house.
That's a fact.
Main card, 218. Tisha Torres fighting Michelle Karate Hottie Watterson, women's strawweight.
Man, I think Watterson got it laid on her on the last time out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
She needs a pretty good rebound on this one.
She does.
I mean, granted, she did get finished by the now strawweight champ of the world.
Yeah, but Tisha Torres, man, she's got a little something to prove too.
Sure.
These are really two gals that, if they're going to stay in the promotion, they got to start getting some wins.
Well, I think Michelle Watterson's okay because she's marketable.
Yeah.
She's good looking.
Much like we can agree that Paige Van Zandt, terrible fighter, but by God, you can throw in a commercial though.
Oh, sure. But I think she's done a lot more. She's got a lot more to give here. The Rose Namajunas submission, that was just, I mean,
Rose beats everybody.
Yeah, you eat a head kick, you get. I mean, I don't think it's any detriment to her. Tisha Torres, if anyone needs a win. And her only loss is, again, to the champ, 9-1. Both these women have lost to Rose Namajunas in the past.
Well, I guess that's what it comes down to. They have one commonality.
Yeah. So what do you think? Maybe potential title setup here?
Man, no. I think what the title is going to be is Joanna getting a rematch. But
I don't know. Well, yeah, but I mean, she did get finished in the first round.
Well, in which case, then you have her fight. Whoever wins this fight.
I mean, TJ went the distance with Dominic and didn't get a rematch. It was a split.
UFC was a little weird about that. UFC, Dominic's their boy. And they frankly, look, TJ Dillashaw might be the most dangerous man on 2 feet in that whole damn division right there. But the thing is that he's not going to get the respect from the sport because, again, talking to marketable, how marketable is he? He's really not, outside of the fact that the rivalry factor that he has with Team Alpha Male.
Is he willing to go on Fox Sports and work? Doesn't seem like
no,
it. Dude wants to fight.
That's what he wants to do. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Dominic Cruz is he's a talker and a fighter. That's fine.
Yeah. He's near the end of his career. He's getting there, I
mean, Cody Garbrandt, and he got finished by TJ. I mean, outside of coloring books, but that guy is probably that guy's a fighter. I mean,
well, Cody Garbrandt can only color in the felt ones.
That's a little bit of a low cut, wasn't it?
Won't show where you fuck up. Lightweight fight I'm really probably looking forward to right under the main event. Eddie Alvarez fighting Justin Gaethje. So looking forward to that fight.
we have different reasons for looking for this fight. I always liked Eddie Alvarez.
Sure. I liked what he did in Bellator.
But he has not been looking like Eddie Alvarez here lately.
No, this guy hadn't fought since he lost Conor.
Was that it? The last one was the title defense?
Oh, hold on.
We've got a.
You forgot the power supply.
Oh, the power supply. Well, and this is what shuts down more podcasts. Yeah, well, that's what you get for letting a guy who's been awake for as long as I have, kind of set things up.
Kevin, you're drunk.
Yeah, well, I'm already home and I'm not quite drunk. I'm getting there. I'm trying, not for the lack of trying. Yeah, that's right. I failed to plug that. Yeah, go ahead and hand me the power. Yeah, there we go. I'll plug this little bad boy in. Let's get this thing hooked up. Yes. See, we're professionals in this regard.
Hard
over
work.
Here.
Hard work.
There we go. And the machine's happy again.
Okay.
And we can look back on this day and go, yeah, that's back when we were trying to keep the machines happy 20 years from now, when we're all working for machines, we're all human slaves.
Getting our semen harvested.
The world has become. God damn.
I had to pick the action back up.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah, it's been a little subdued, and that's on me, and I apologize. But
we'll go back to.
So Eddie Alvarez,
yeah.
I didn't realize. I thought he fought after that. He lost his title and lost that one as well.
I don't think so. I think after Conor, dude took some time. Oh no, the illegal knee on Poirier when he fought Poirier at 211.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
God, I'm gonna throw my fucking phone right through the wall.
If you don't, I will. Okay. I want to see. I like Eddie. I want to see him bounce back. But man, he's fighting a guy who has basically admitted that his own fighting style, and Justin Gaethje, that his fighting style is he's like, yeah, I'm going to get knocked out a few times, but
I haven't yet.
He's moving forward and throwing hands. He's just a wrecking ball.
Yeah, this guy, I don't know. I mean, it does have a lot to do that I got to see his debut, and it was still one of the top fights of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and we, well, I ended up, because you were in Las Vegas, you saw it live.
Yeah.
I was watching it with our roadie, and see, she's going to regret allowing me to call her that. Mm-hmm. We ended up watching that fight. Was stupid. The fact that, because who was Kevin Lee? Right?
Michael Johnson.
Or Michael Johnson. It was back and forth. And Michael Johnson looked like he was going to win a couple of times.
Cracked him good.
But Gaethje just kept coming at him.
Dude's a goddamn Terminator, man.
And if you've got that 20-year-old jaw, yeah, sure, you can pull that all day long. I don't like Gaethje's chances of being around in another 8 years in UFC.
I mean, he just turned 29. He's probably got the dome of a 40-year-old right about now, is going to be my guess. And it's only going to get worse at the UFC.
And we're going to see. Eddie Alvarez has got a real solid set of skills all the way around. Gaethje, obviously, he's a battler. He's going to throw hands.
Yeah. 15 knockouts out of 18 wins.
We'll see. I like Eddie with a submission, but if he comes out looking like a deer in headlights, Gaethje's going to kill him.
I think Gaethje's going to do something similar to what Conor did to him.
Yeah.
He's just going to tag him all day and stuff takedowns.
I think that's the way to beat Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we got next? Yeah. Henry Cejudo fighting Sergio Pettis at flyweight. If we see the killer that we saw in Cejudo's last fight, this guy could be running right into the winner of TJ and Mighty Mouse if that happens.
But if we see the Cejudo of every other fight other than the last
one that's like, we're going to give you a job, we're going to give you a fight, and then we're going to fight the champ because you're an Olympian. God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, and it just did not matter.
Man, I don't know how to put it out there without attacking his coach. If Sergio Pettis had anybody other than Duke Rufus training him, man, I'd be probably on board.
Yeah.
The problem I think it is that they get too technical, and by they I mean the Pettis brothers.
Yeah.
Anthony Pettis, man, that guy's one of the most technical fighters in the sport, and that's fantastic. But the problem becomes, there's a point when you're too technical.
Yeah.
There's times when it requires some raw power. There's times it requires you to be able to throw some elbows. There's times for you to be able to snake a weird knee bar.
Yeah.
And it seems like everything comes out of Duke Rufus' camp. It tends to be a real weird overly technical, complicated thing that really it can fuck up a young fighter.
Well, he's never been the same since he won the belt.
Oh, Pettis? Anthony Pettis, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Sergio's got some of the same demons that he's facing and his brother has got. But yet they've got the same guy, and I don't like to talk bad about coaches, but I just think that he makes things more complicated than they need to be.
Right. And then, same guy, this guy takes on CM Punk to try to get him cage ready, which we saw that worked out.
Yeah.
Not well.
Which is weird that CM Punk's still not officially retired.
Oh, no. He's I think he's actually started training again. Because he wants to come back and get that ass beat and get that paycheck.
Well, why not? Why not, right?
Well, I mean, if you're going to get beat up, you might as well get paid really well for it. Co-main event, heavyweight, Alistair Overeem, the Reem, fighting Francis Ngannou.
I like Ngannou, but the problem is that Ngannou is...
I like Ngannou in the first round.
Yeah, same here. But the problem is he hadn't faced elite competition.
Oh yeah, but
Like
he's also in a heavyweight division that is like a retirement ranch, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Overeem is almost 40.
Yeah.
Hunt is over 40, I think.
And both of those guys, winners of Grand Prix kickboxing contests.
Oh, yeah, big Pride. I mean, majority of these guys are Pride alum,
Yeah. But the problem is that, and Nagano's not young, but by standards, though, he is young. Because of the fact he kind of got in the fight game a little late. He's not been like one of these world-class kickboxers who's been getting kicked in the head since he's 16. He's got a whole different paradigm. And that paradigm is he gets in. Chingasa's going to the bedroom, doing the
fights.
Cat and the dog. Really what it is, he has a whole different approach to fights. And that is that he's going to step into every punch that he's got, and he's going to catch somebody eventually. And when he does, as we see often in heavyweight fights, he's going to put you on your ass. Alistair Overeem, we've also mentioned this several times. You don't get a chin back once it's gone.
Oh, no, especially not in the heavyweight division.
And Overeem's got a weak chin.
Well, that's why he's incorporated running into his game.
Yeah, which worked really, really well.
It really did work in his last fight against
Verdum.
Yeah. No, against... was that Travis Brown that he fought, wasn't it?
No. I don't know. You're the one with the computer in front of you.
If only there was a machine that could help us, show us the way.
I thought it was against Verdum, but I could be wrong.
Let's see. Majority decision at 213.
Because he goes in. Overeem's new skill is to kind of point fight. Goes in, gets enough to where in a 3-round fight, win 2 rounds to where he's relatively certain he's won those 2, and then just run away for the 3rd round.
Right. Well,
which didn't serve him well.
He's knocked out Mark Hunt. He's knocked out Andre. He knocked out Junior Dos Santos. Knocked out Stefan Struve.
But I guarantee you, he hadn't fought somebody like Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, and we're like I said, this is not the Reem we know from 4 years ago.
Although you know what, I will say this: I like him better now than I did 2 years ago.
Yeah, because now it seems like he's really starting to rely on that skill rather than that mass and power he cultivated in the old days.
Yeah,
I like Ngannou if he can finish it in the first round. Just flash knockout.
Man, if it goes beyond the first, I think it becomes Overeem's fight. Then.
Yeah. If Overeem can really incorporate that game plan, which, like I said, backpedaling, running away has become a big part of it, but he makes it work.
Yeah.
I like Overeem's chances if it goes past first round.
Yep. I'm on board with that.
Now for that main event, Max the Blessed Man Holloway, who I always get him and Tony Ferguson mixed up. I always do.
And I know because they both have big wings tattooed on their back.
That's right, and huge schnozzes.
Yeah.
Fighting Jose Aldo for that featherweight strap.
Is this deja vu all over again? Didn't we see Max Holloway win the belt from Jose Aldo?
Yeah, just mere months ago, as a matter of fact.
Jose Aldo, who had to move up to... Or no, he's still fighting.
Yeah, featherweight cap.
That's a guy. Here, he's a guy that is kind of an in-betweener. Now that he's older and he's Brazilian, he can't make that weight cut to 145. It's a hard cut. So when he does it, it basically wrecks him to do so. Max Holloway came in and just kind of ragdolled him. He can't move up to 155 because he's going to be a tiny lightweight. So he's kind of stuck. He's in this weird spot where he's going to have to keep making that cut, and he's going to keep getting banged. And especially fighting guys like Max Holloway, who, frankly, that guy is a beast. I really, really wish it had been back in the old days when Conor McGregor had the 145 belt and that those two guys would have faced off for the featherweight belt, except we know that Conor doesn't do title defenses. But
nope, he just makes money, that's all.
I know. I mean, I'm not faulting him for it, but I'll fault him as a fighter, but not as a marketer. But Max Holloway, this guy's like, well, here's what it is. Bring it on. I'll fight him again. He said, I fight a guy twice. I'm going to beat you down the worst the second time. Third time, it's going to be even worse than that. I mean, Max Holloway is just, and it's so matter-of-factly. He's not talking shit. He's just throwing out, by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And I can appreciate that.
I know. I think it's still shit talking. It's just more veiled.
Well,
anytime you come out and say, I'm going to beat you worse than I did the first time, that's shit.
Here's the only problem I had, because then people are like, why didn't Aldo throw all those leg kicks? His leg kicks are his thing. And then Aldo said, oh, yeah, that's right, because I had a leg injury, which was only revealed like weeks after that fight. Weeks. And now they're bringing it up and say, hey, so are you healthy now? I said, yep. Well, until he gets beat again, in which case then we're going to find out that he, I don't know, had a strained forcep or a torn
forcep,
torn labia or something. I don't know. Well, but my problem is Jose Aldo. And people on social media, it's like, well, this is really important for his legacy. His legacy's already done. His legacy is that he lost to Conor McGregor in seconds. Yeah. And if you want to add on top of that, he lost to Max Holloway in pretty dubious form. He looked terrible.
Nearly 20 minutes. Well, he looked good in that first round. He had rocked Max. He was doing okay. Then after that,
don't you think that's really the to be credited to the weight cut now?
Oh, no, I think it's credited to the fact that USADA is really strapping down on these fools, and you can't cheat anymore, really, without getting caught.
I think that's kind of a weird claim to throw out that Aldo...
UFC 179, he beat Chad Mendez. Then 194 happens on top of a really good guy that can talk some really good shit, get into your head, not being able to take some of them jujubes in the back there.
I like Max Holloway finish this thing like in the first. First, maybe second round, I think.
Because I think Jose is going to come out very aggressive.
Yeah.
Probably make some mistakes. Cause
you know what happened last time he came out aggressive? There was an Irishman that put him on his ass.
So, Max Holloway closing out what I think will be a pretty decent pay-per-view tomorrow.
So that's kind of it. That's the highlight of that. I'm getting really excited. 219 is going to happen at the end of the year. 220 is happening in February. DC will defend his belt against somebody that we're...
I don't know, man. They really got to figure out that 219 card. Because as of right now, it's not a really good bookend to 2017.
Yeah, you got Holy Holm fighting Cyborg, though.
That's your main event.
If nobody buys it, doesn't that cement the fact that, hey, the UFC made a big mistake by really, really begging Chris Cyborg to open up a new division for her, just for her to hold the belt? If they can't sell that card, what's that say?
Yeah, and apparently they've, signed her to another contract, making her the highest paid female fighter in UFC.
And I don't know
if that's money well spent.
And on top of this, so my information's not great either, and I don't really care because I'm too goddamn tired right now to worry about it. But so 218 and 219. Fight card this weekend, fight card last of December. Which one's the better buy?
Tomorrow night, just on paper, tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Because you're talking the fights, the last 5 to 6 fights on the card. And 219 was looking good, but then Dominic Cruz got pulled. I mean, you got Condit fighting. I don't even know if Condit's fighting on the pay-per-view. He might be now.
Wow.
But that dude's on the preliminary fight.
I don't know. This is an organization in trouble. I'm kind of getting on board with what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, it's looking worse and worse. And now the Fox deal, they've come up to renew it. Apparently, they offered far less than what the UFC said their market value was worth to them in the contract. So they said like $400 million or something like that.
Who's looking really smart? The Fertitas.
Oh man, yeah, they are just beating off with hundies and fruity rum drinks. They figured it out, man. They got out at the right time. It seems. I don't know. I think if they'd stuck around and kept that triumvirate of Dana White and the Fertitta brothers and Joe Silva getting your matchmaking done, things might still be okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you think the Fertittas would have let Conor do that?
No.
I don't think so. He's like, no, you'll make your money here,
Right.
or you will stop fighting for us and go be a boxer without our help.
That's exactly right. That's the right approach. But the UFC looked at it and went, "Whoa, you got this new ownership group. They're wanting to make a pile of money," and they did.
Too many cooks, man.
But you kind of killed your golden goose.
Yeah, and like now we rarely see Herb Dean ref and fight stateside anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even know. We got John Anik in UFC 3. I mean, come on, dude.
God, it's getting bad.
We
might have to get on board with Bellator.
I hope Bellator puts out a kick-ass game next year. I don't know.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that to the Fedor and Frank Mir fight, even though it's a geriatric Super Bowl. But I don't care.
I would look forward to that fight 10 years ago. But yeah,
I'll still watch it.
Yeah. All right, the big wrap up picks for this week. My pick is going to be let's give another little try this little Hell of the King from 2016.
I still got some in here.
So would you like some more, Brody?
I thought you called her Brody.
Brody.
Like
Mallrats? Okay. My pick is going to be Holly King. God, with the right amount of air in that. That's just
yeah, that's nice.
It's from the gods. All right.
That is nice.
All right. That'd be my pick there.
I'm going to piggyback on that.
I would say as far as metal goes, my pick this week. Oh,
God, that's actually that might be moderately difficult.
Wow. I mean, the temptations to spill over from my pick last week, but I'll move beyond that. God, who was I talking about? Oh, you know what? My pick this week, when it comes to the music side of it, anything obscure by Tool.
Oh, well, there are a few out there. Shit, now you mentioned Tool. Tool's not actually a bad choice. But I'm not going to bite
I love going first.
I'm not going to bite your skis on the tunes. When in doubt, I always go with Devin Townsend. I'm doing that again.
Picks on MMA. My pick is Francis Ngannou by a pretty decisive win over Alistair Overeem.
The guy that I got to see come in the UFC and do some serious goddamn work, Justin Gaethje, fighting out of Arvada, Colorado, gonna win some hearts tomorrow. He's already won mine. If he knocks out Eddie Alvarez tomorrow, I'm buying a shirt.
Yeah, well, there we go. That is the
because
Mead.
I already said if Conor doesn't fight by the end of the year or have a fight announced, I'm done. I need a new horse. I need a new horse to ride. Justin Gaethje's going to be that horse, and I'm sticking with lightweight, so that's why I'm okay with it.
All right, folks, that's it. The Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast for this week. As we often do, we like to thank you for joining us today. Hey, if there's anything we can do for you donors out there, if you want to get your hands on
within
some
reason,
King,
of course.
With the Green Man, we've got that. We've got a very limited stock of Runestone left. Let us know.
Which I cracked open a bottle of that last weekend. It's gotten really nice.
Yeah, Runestone.
Not as nice as Holly King, I'll say, but give it a year. It might actually turn into something similar.
Maybe so. Whew. All right. Enjoy your week. We'll be back for, episode number 54.
54.
Ooh,
54.
Next week. All right. Take care, you savages.